Okay, folks, so I have some footage here recording of the storm that passed over us yesterday. There were actually two separate bursts that dropped little pea-sized hail on us. The first time was pretty intense, and then the second run when it came back through was shorter, but the hailstones were just a little bit bigger. Not much, just a little bit, but and the temperature dropped drastically within a very short period of time. And this recording here, this is sped up, but this was taken with the iPad, with the old iPad that we have. And I stuck it out there in the window ledge, aimed out towards the east, as the storm system was rolling up over us from the southwest. And yeah, it was pretty intense. There was a lot of pretty loud cracks of thunder and a lot of very interesting lightning. And poor iPad. Yeah, there's one of the strikes right there. It was pretty intense. And poor iPad really weathered it. It still works, but the audio is all cracked out. That was pretty intense. Now, I've seen those beams before out in that direction. I don't think that's just a camera anomaly. I think that they're actually like using plasma beams and stuff like that to generate certain energy fields for testing some of their equipment and stuff too. But I just that you can see it coming towards the camera view off in the distance. So it looks to me like the sky is being beamed. There, you can see it right there. Yeah, it was pretty intense. But in this recording here, you can kind of, if you listen to the audio on it, you can hear at certain points where the audio starts to short out on it because the iPad just couldn't stand it. I mean, it was coming down pretty heavy, like a really heavy downpour. And then, of course, the it was pretty. You hear it echoing and bouncing off the walls, all the hills around us. Yeah. So anyway, I want to share that video clip too, and then of course the hailstones. I think Harry posted on that. Starts to short out a little bit, and it just got white out there. I can see planes that were coming in off in the distance. Yeah, there's poor audio. And the visual comes back, and it does still record. I've recorded already. I'd taken a couple of test recordings, and it still records all right. But the audio, it doesn't record audio very well anymore. The audio's all crackly. So the poor iPad, I've put it through a lot. It's recorded a lot of the stuff towards the east. But yeah, that was a pretty intense couple of pop-up storms that we were subjected to. And the hail, just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem very natural to me. And we were pretty well flooded out in the backyard anyway. It was cooling up pretty fast. There you can see our yard was just peppered with all of these little ice balls. This was the first one.
There's a
very drastic change in the temperature. Yeah, there you can see our yard was already starting to really cool and fill up.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So that's the kind of flash flooding right there that I was talking about when I did that video that Fox 5 had presented that showed all of those climatologists and those climateers and meteorologists and folks getting all excited about our really hot days and stuff. It's a pattern. It's already been documented and it's already been associated with some of the weather modification programs that go on out in California and in Utah and in Colorado. I mean, this is documented information, folks. This is not something that would normally naturally occur on its own. This only occurs because it's being influenced and they're messing around with shit they don't have any business messing around with. And people want to say all that they want. Say, oh, this is perfectly normal. Oh, I was witnessing this years ago. Well, that just corroborates the whole narrative even further.
Wow.
Because they've actually been doing this and manipulating the weather for over 80 years. 80 years. Okay? They have been influencing our atmospheric rivers and influencing our upper atmosphere with these chemical ice nucleization type of things. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but
There's still hailstones up here.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It was another one of those instances where again we have these storylines like day after tomorrow and the end of days and everything all playing out for us. And I don't know. It was very interesting to experience it once again. Last year and the year before we had something very similar. Didn't seem like it was as intense, but we were definitely getting beamed last year. I captured a whole lot of these like horizontal and vertical beams going on in the sky with the monsoon storms that came through last year and the year before. And I'm sorry, but that's not normal. And it's not a camera anomaly when I see those, these types of pulses like this. That's not just a camera anomaly. The camera is detecting these beams being pulsed through the sky. And they've been talking about it. The military has been talking about it. The NWS talks about it. NOAA talks about it. The Navy, US Air Force, all of them, they all talk about it in their research. In emitting plasma arrays and plasma systems that can, produce these types of high energy systems, high energy waves that they can then use to test equipment. I mean, that's intense. But anyway, I plan on doing some more stuff on the whole Trump thing. This pretty iconic photo here, huh? There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on when it comes to some of the investigative reporting and stuff. There's some additional information talking about a second shooter up here on the water tower, and I have a little bit of footage showing that kind of slowed down a little bit and zoomed in on that I want to share. And this whole thing about Trump pointing off in that direction and the chart, I'm going to share a little bit more of that information too. Um, I might do one on YouTube. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about uploading anything that has to do with that, right now onto YouTube. I might put it onto Rumble, but this YouTube is already acting funny. I'm already seeing and hearing stories and, information where they're already censoring people. And people are actually losing their jobs, supposedly. There are people getting fired because they had posted up on their social media accounts and on the platforms up wishing that, the shooter had missed and all of this kind of stuff. Just, kind of inflammatory comments. Yeah. But at the same time, as inflammatory as some might perceive them to be, if you're standing up for free speech and people have the right to free speech, then it's for all. And I think that it's very interesting to see all of these hypocrites coming out of the woodwork now, all of a sudden, all of these so-called political actors and actresses out there that claim to stand for freedom and free speech are some of the big ones coming out talking about people should be canceled and people need to be, held accountable for posting up anything inflammatory about the whole Trump thing. And they're calling for people to be censored and removed and lose their jobs. And you got the whole cancel culture going on out there where you got all these patriots and people calling for the cancellation of anyone that is talking or saying anything negative about the whole Trump thing. And there's a bunch of different narratives going on out there that are just flying around. And it's just really curious to see how it's all playing out right now because the narrative seems to be that, there was a failure, this major failure. And the media really isn't being too specific. I mean, they're giving the impression that what they mean is that there was a Secret Service failure, that they failed Trump, that Trump should have never gotten shot, and she should have never been put in that position. So they failed Trump in that aspect. But I think that there's a little bit of this play on words and the insinuation. There's like this hidden insinuation going on there that it it was a failure because they didn't, achieve the objective of taking Trump out. A failure because Trump is still alive, so to speak. And I'm just saying that because that's the impression that I'm getting from some of the media reports. So there's this play on words, and I'm trying to be really cautious because I really don't want this YouTube channel. I don't want, Sky Anomalies, I'm Still Standing to go down. I really don't. And some of the more interesting stuff is talking about all of the stock and different things. And then you've got the photographer. I want to go into a little bit more of that too, but I just I I've already had one channel removed for hate speech because I was pointing out some different anomalies with some of the events that were going on a few years ago, and I just don't want that to happen with this channel. And I do have an alternate channel. I do have Earthbound Misfit, Sky Anomalies Earthbound Misfit, and the link is in my description on this channel on Sky Anomalies I'm Still Standing. So if you're not subscribed to the alternate backup channel, you might want to be, because if I do decide to put up some more information on Trump and the channel gets taken down, then you know there's a lot of interesting duality going on with this whole operation that I just want to point out. So anyway, stay safe and mindful, folks, because I think that there's definitely some more interesting shows to come. I really do. They need bigger distractions. Quite correct. All right. Thanks for watching. Know that I appreciate you and that you matter very much to me. And it matters that you stay safe and that you stay mindful. Yeah. Tense.